to the Not Superheroes Gets Dads podcast. No, we can't fly. No, we can't shoot lasers or pick up giant buildings. But what we can do is help set the foundations for our families, be present for our kids, and combat generational cycles. On this podcast, we dive into everything dad related, from the struggles we deal with as fathers to what our favorite thing to barbecue is. Hello, I'm Sean Laurie. I hope you guys are having an amazing, blessed day today. Man, I'm excited. I've been trying to get this in the works just because his schedule is crazy. He's a father, firefighter, trainer, coach. He wears a gang of hats, man. But how you doing today, Marcus? How you doing, my boy?
I'm good, man. I'm hanging. I'm running. We started this late because I'm running around because of schedule, man. But I appreciate you being flexible and helping me out, man. So like I said, I've been wanting to do this with you for a long time too. So by the time we drop it,
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. I know you in that cold Colorado, so you man, you gotta stay bundled up. We almost moved there actually, but we chose Texas. So, um, yeah, looking at that weather, it was a good choice.
it wouldn't been bad. But forgive the forgive the gear. I'm out here in the man cave, the little man tent outside right now. So had
Nah,
some
that's dope,
games
man.
on, smoking some little chuck roast real quick. So I'll forgive the gear, but it's cold out here, bro.
I believe it, man. So I I always like to do a icebreaker. So excuse me. So like who you are, what you do, um, is a big part of obviously your personality and things like that. But I just wanted to ask you, like, it's like you almost live like multiple lives in a sense, right?
Right.
So which which role, I guess, shaped you the most out of all the things from your upbringing? Basketball, firefighting, like I said, obviously, you're a husband, you're a father, right? You have all these different roles, and I'm sure I'm missing other things as well that you had going on at one point.
Right.
But what's one of those roles that shaped you feel like the most?
Honestly, I say it was fatherhood.
Mm.
It was fatherhood. I think wearing this hat, it matured me a little bit faster. I mean, we known each other sandbox, so it's we seen them days before fatherhood. So I think once fatherhood hit, I think life changed a little bit different. So then that's what kind of matured me and kind of raised me, and just those bumps and bruises, lessons taught, learned, things like that. So misunderstood, understood. I think it was
Mm.
fatherhood that probably molded me the most.
That's dope. That's dope. And cause you have three boys, right?
I got two boys, one girl.
Two. Okay, two boys, one girl. My fault.
Yeah,
My fault.
I got to
Um,
get my daughter's ears pierced, man.
No, no, I didn't know, so that's what I was asking. I had no clue, bro. So, I was slacking on that. She's the youngest, right?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Daddy's princess.
That's what I was gonna say. How old is she?
She's three.
Oh yeah, she got you wrapped around her finger already. Yeah, yeah. That's
Man, too bad, too bad, bro. It's crazy. I can't even yell at her, man.
I understand. Trust me, I definitely understand that, man. Especially having two girls, so I understand. But
You know.
yeah, it's especially my youngest. My youngest, she's like a super duper daddy's girl. So that's yeah, she be out the chain sometimes. But but as a father of three, what I guess since you spoke on that, like how that's been, the biggest thing that's shaped you in a sense, right? What's the biggest lesson um you would say you're obviously your daughter's a little bit younger, but just what's the biggest lessons you either are teaching them or trying to teach them?
Being present in time,
Mm.
because right now we such a social media on our phone, in one ear, out the other ear type society right now. So it's like being present in time, like we just took a trip to Disneyland and like we didn't have our phones out. We kind of forgot to the end of the night, like, yo, let's take pictures so we can remember it. And I kind of preach that. Man, my wife is the one to take the pictures and do the videos and stuff, but I'm not all for that. Not so much saying I'm against it in just a sense, but I'm just not the one taking my phone out and
Yeah.
but it's just being present in time, understanding where
Mm.
you at in reality, because a lot of this stuff that you see is fake. So
True.
understand where you at in reality and understand what's reality.
That's real. No, that's true, bro. Because at the end of the day, like you say, because I've had a couple conversations with other fathers where they love what I'm doing, but I tell them all the time, like, man, I'm a work in progress. You know what I mean? Like I'm still working as well. Like I appreciate it,
Uh,
but I'm still I'm still learning it, and hopefully I don't come off as someone that has all the answers because I definitely don't.
no,
um,
that ain't never been you. You've always been
yeah,
inquisitive, wanting to learn, wanting to know. So that's anybody who know that's been you, man. Like I say,
yeah,
once you jumped off with this, it was like, bro, I gotta get on because I know you and your drive and where you was gonna take this.
yeah.
So for
Appreciate
sure.
that. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. So with that, like you say, being present, which I love, that's a big thing. I speak to other fathers and for myself. And so for you, how do you stay present and intentional with each of your kids, especially obviously your daughter, right, being the youngest, but then, as you know now for sure, right, it's a way different dynamic with the boys compared to your daughter.
Yeah, it's just trying to understand their needs, trying to think before them and ahead of them, and trying to relate. And I tell my wife a lot, and I talk to my mother a lot about it. It's just trying to remember where I was at their age, where I was
Mm,
thinking at their age, understanding their gracefulness and their ignorance to certain things, and trying to lie or trying to be mischievous, and just understanding like that's what they gonna do at that age. That's what they gonna do at that time, and just trying to, like I say, just be in the present of reality and not just compare myself to somebody else's situation and just understand them where they're at. Like definitely with my oldest, because he's 11, so it's just definitely he's gonna be 12. So now understanding the puberty stuff, the girls, mixed in with the basketball. So understanding where he's at, not trying to be too adult with him, but understanding where
yeah,
he's at that level.
yeah, yeah,
So I guess that's the best way, and it keeps me young too, right? I got to
yeah,
think like a 13, maybe like a 14-year-old. I ain't gonna go 11 with him or 12 with him,
yeah,
but I may think like a 14-year-old for him or something
yeah, yeah.
like an
No,
OG,
that's
like a big brother.
Yeah, no, that's real. I mean, you have to be able to, like relate to them, like the kids now, right, with this dang 6'7", everything drives me crazy with that. But right,
You
like
know,
every everything. So the kids, so I just do it with them sometimes, right? They be like, "Hey, Dad, what's the score?" I'm like, "Oh, 67, 6'7". I'm like, "All right,
six,
man." Like,
seven, like.
here we go, right? So, but
But to that, like I told my son, like they have a 6'7", and don't get me wrong, bro, that's annoying as hell. But what we used to do to our parents, I know you remember the "but," "what,"
yeah, yeah,
"sir," or the "yeah," like we did little shit too. So it's like
absolutely.
so but that's keeping me present is understanding like I can't get mad at the 6'7",
No,
32 times a
no.
day, like
We like you said, bro. We had all of what I mean. We would clown each other. We had our little I mean, was I like all that stuff. So, like you said, it was we always had something. So it's just their turn.
it's their turn, yeah.
Just their turn, man. So like what you said was your oldest. How do you like you said balance that because it's like that fine line. Like you said, man. He's your son, so I'm sure he's a tall, handsome young man. He's
Yeah,
hooping, doing his thing. And then at school there's distraction, and shoot, nowadays, the kids is getting it in even younger. You know what I'm saying? So like
right.
you gotta have certain conversations with him, but at the same time, you're not trying to have him grow up too fast. So how do you
Right.
kind of balance that dance, I guess, in a sense?
Just listening to them, listening to
Mm,
their responses. So instead of prejudging their responses or pre-answering their questions or to my questions, listening to what they said and let that conversation lead down my path of questioning. So we
mm,
always got that path to pick up of how was your day, how was class, how was Sarah, how was Johnny, how was Miss So and So. Yep,
mm,
that's already premeditated. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you let the
yeah,
conversations lead itself. Yo, how was school? Okay, yeah. Okay, dang, what happened first period? You said what?
yeah,
Okay, cool, yeah. So you ran into who in the hallway? So then now you start getting into, now you start diving into more of their day, but you letting them open up to you as opposed to you controlling that narrative.
true. I
So,
like
you
that.
give them a
No,
sense of ownership. So
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. Like I always tell my mom, like one thing I think our generation had, and we're around the same age. I think children were taught to be seen and not heard,
Yeah.
and I think children can be seen and heard. Now I'm not saying that you got to follow what a child says, but you can hear what a child says because it's just a different perspective. And anybody and any adult and any person of reason can understand a different perspective is always going to be something to think about, and to ponder.
No, that's real, bro. And I like what you said too. You're asking following up questions. You're seeing what trying to make sure they actually expand on their answers. So that's what I've learned over the years with four kids is I used to, because I was the same way. I'm sure you was the same way too. How was school? Fine. How's the grades? Good. Like, what I'm saying?
Man,
Like, all right, like, leave me alone now. Like, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
like,
so
come
what I
on.
do, yeah, right. And I'm like, man, can you leave me? Like, I already answered it, right? So what I did over the years is I asked them, like, what made you smile today? What made you
Yeah,
laugh? Like who made you mad today? Oh, no one made me mad. Oh, for real? Oh, okay. Did anyone make you sad? Did anything make you laugh? You know what I mean? And now they have to think like, oh yeah, there was this one time, woo woo. Or
yeah.
sometimes they'll act like, oh no, nothing, right? They'll say nothing, and then I'm like, oh okay, cool, nothing made you laugh, whatever. I'm going about my day, and then they start telling me a story. Hey, Dad, it was funny, and I think self
Oh,
consciously they didn't realize it, but it was like implanted. Where later on they remember. I'm like, oh, I thought you said nothing made you laugh. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Johnny, wooty woo.
yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't just give how was your day?
Nah,
You
that
know,
generic
yeah,
that generic convo, and it breeds more of a trust because now they feel
yeah.
like they can lean on you, rely on you. That's more of that friend trust convo, but you still parent, right? So like, but you allow the trust for him to tell you or her to tell you what happened, and you can
Yeah,
navigate through that convo. So you can still discipline through, but you allowed that friend to break through, and now you parent as you navigate through that convo. So
facts.
it's flipping that
Facts.
switch.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And well, now I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna pivot a little bit. So one is well, it's gonna lead up to my question, my other question I have for you. But one is, what did your dad either teach you or didn't teach you, and how did that shape you as a dad?
Man, it's tough. My upbringing tough, man. My pops was in and out, so he spent some time in the bean. So
Mm,
and that's jail time. So he spent some
yeah.
jail time. So he was in and out. So like I learned, like I could learn from that as far as like being that separation that he had for those 10 years, 8 to 10
Yeah.
years that he was gone, and then when he came back, just seeing his hustle, seeing his grind, and just seeing him, kind of what's that? I'm trying to think of that word, like muster back into society that that an
Okay.
inmate has, like so. I learned things like that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of tough, with my pops. So it's like, he's a
Mhm.
great citizen. He's a good dude, great role
Yeah.
model for my grandkids, for my kids, I should say, for his grandkids. But
Yeah.
it's kind of tough to say like what I learned and what I didn't learn. But I learned
Mhm.
things like that through him, like through like that natural life. Like okay, I can't
Yeah.
be away from my kids. I want to be present. I gotta be here. I need to spend that extra time. He was out here hustling. He was moving.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I was asking because you mentioned basketball, and you for those that don't know, he was D1, D1 ready. So I wanted to ask you, did your pops help with that, or was it something from people, your friends, neighborhood? Was it just gifted, or did you teach yourself? Like, how did you get to that point, bro?
it was all of them, man. It was a village.
Mm,
It was my pops. It was talent. The last of it was work. That's the one thing I will say. That's one thing I do preach to my son is the work ethic, man. That's what I did
mm,
lack when I was younger because it was just so naturally gifted, and growing up in the biblical family, we just relied on our faith. So it was just like, oh, it's just faith driven too. So a lot of it was like that. So I would say,
Mm,
like I say, it was a village of it, bro. So and that's what we need now, and I think we took that out of our kids' lives as a village. It's like this one trainer, and then it's like what he says and how it goes, and it's like these trainers are just it's different nowadays. These kids got to go play.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're right. Because nowadays, well, what do you think about that? Because it was different when we grew up. When we
Yeah,
grew up, high school ball still mattered. What I mean, you still went
man,
outside on the blacktop and played. That's how you got tough, right? You got tough
yeah,
because of you was going against some random dudes, right? Where now, it's a little you still get it. You still have some few kids, but a lot of times it's harder to really get that dog in them like that because they're in the comfort of a nice gym. They're getting trained, go around this cone and things like that. Like you, bro, being, like I said, you played at such a high level. Like, what's your, obviously, it's not a bad thing. Like, it's a good thing as well. But just what do you think? Like you said, because nowadays, we see it where kids have like three, four different trainers,
yeah,
or something happens that they don't like, so they switch. They're changing four or five teams. You know what I mean? And so
man.
obviously it's a little different for you because you are a trainer, you are a coach, and you're also a dad. So for your kids, they don't necessarily have to worry about that as much. But like for you, bro, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's kind of like I do appreciate one thing these kids got that we don't have like is that work ethic to go in the gym and do the work. So like I will give it up to them for that, whether it's the right work, wrong work, medium work, neutral work. It is work. You know what I'm saying? So I will
Yeah.
give them that part of it, but it's also a lot of it is remedial and regressive because at the
Mm,
end of the day, the work that you're doing, you still got to be put in these situations. So it doesn't matter how much work you put in, no work can put you in a situation when you down one at the free, or at least that environment. You can work on the free throws to make the free throw, but you
yeah.
won't feel that pressure or that tense or that build up or that that nut tingler that's like yo it's it's point 0.8 seconds you down one you got two free throws so it's like you got to go out here and play like you go on a 3-on-2 2-on-1 you got to know what you're doing like if you're in a one-on-0 environment you're not seeing help side you could be told where help side is but if you're not practicing that help side move when are you ever going to see it really work so so like I said, a lot of it is remedial. Some of it is just median. Like it's a mix of all. 6, 7,
Yeah.
right? It's a mix of all. It's a mix of all. So it just depends on like what you're trying to get out of it. But all of it adds up. And I think with us, a lot of the kids now that I look back, like a lot of the kids who made it spent that extra time in the gym, but they were at the pickups with us too. So it's like whereas I was thinking like, oh, they're at the pickups, that's cool. I'm at the pickups, so we all good. I'm hanging with them, they hanging. But when they leaving the pickup or when we leaving the pickup to go fly or do what we gotta do, get dressed, go out to Santa Monica, or, do that stuff, they in the gym. They stand in the gym
Yeah.
after. So
Yeah.
whereas opposed to now, a lot of the kids are getting staying in the gym after, but there's no gym before. You
Mm,
feel me? So it's like
yeah.
that's the mix that they're missing. To me, I feel like it's
Mhm.
that 5-on-5. So that's why
Yeah.
in Colorado and Denver, like I told you through text and stuff, like I'm trying to bring out that environment of play, like of competition. Like, yeah, we could call it skills, but yo, you're gonna get these skills in these real life game situation environments. I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock, first to 8. We're gonna stop this clock. We're gonna have five. It's gonna be possessional basketball because you gotta
Yeah.
understand that situation. It isn't just
That's
coming out here making sure everybody can just right hand dribble, right cross, tween, tween, ha, 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 ha. No, no, no. It's a lot more than that. Where's your counter to your
fact.
counter?
Fact. No, that's
So,
true. That's true, like you said, and if you have, that, like, let's say you have a player on your team that's really that nice. Hey, see what happens when you throw a double him every time. Let's see how
every
he
time,
adjusts.
how he reads it.
Let's see how he
How,
reads it.
and even to that point, how that backside guy reads it, how that next guy reads it, and even on defense, how's that help guy gonna read it? How's that help guy gonna adjust? So now you starting to see them play, and once you see their eyes start rolling. They get cross-eyed. They don't, you know, it's like a robot. They just overwork it. And it's,
No, that's true, bro. That's true, man.
they need
So,
they need
to
that hoop environment.
they do. No, they do, man. So I was gonna ask you, playing at such a high level as you did, you know, in a sense, and maybe it's even an odd question. I don't know, but we'll see. But did it, in a sense, playing at a high level, did it some way help you as a man and as a father when you was hooping at such a high? Because like you said, I'm not talking about when it was easy, right?
No,
Because like you
no,
said, you was
that's
just naturally gifted. I'm talking about when you really had to grind and work, and you dealt with, because right, like most people I know that really went far with basketball, they had some type of adversity, right? So I know you dealt with some adversity too. But did that prepare you to be the man you are today and the father you are today?
yeah, because it taught me to keep moving forward. So it's like that adversity, you can get knocked down, but how you gonna be when you get back up? So for me, it
Mm,
was like you said, it was that grind. It taught me discipline. So it taught me different discipline in a different way. Like, okay, I can do this. Like on the fire department that I'm at, a lot of guys was in the army. You know, we got a lot of army
mm,
veterans and stuff like that, and so they learned discipline through that. I learned discipline through hoop. So where they
mm,
saying yes sir, no sir, I'm saying yes coach, no coach. So for
mm,
me, it was
yeah,
that same type discipline. Waking up at 6 o'clock, I got to be in practice at 7 o'clock. I got to be in that training room at 6:15. Okay, cool. We got shoot around at 8 o'clock at night. I got to go eat. I got to make sure my work is done. It was a different grind. It's a different discipline tier that just taught me. So once I became a father, it was just like, all right, just log back in. You know, when we knuckleheads, we knuckleheads. You
yeah,
can turn it on, you can
yeah.
turn it off. But when you a parent or when you're into parenthood, it's nonstop. So like each decision, can hurt theirs.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it taught me a lot about discipline, just a lot about discipline and just moving forward, everything moving forward.
So what inspired you, bro? Actually, you mentioned it. What inspired you to become a firefighter?
Man, my oldest son. Honestly, like I tell this story and it's so I'm not even gonna say it's cliche. It's probably like unique to the situation, but just my son, he used to love he loves that show Paw Patrol, or at least used to love this show. Now he's older and grown
Yeah,
out of it. You know, nothing to Paw Patrol,
yeah.
but you know, but he used to love that show, and so just him getting older, I knew where I was at in life, running my skills business, doing that, working out of a gym. I needed more as far as like life situations, healthcare, things like that. And so I saw the look on his eyes and how these fire dogs was just like they just loved him, like and the world loved him at the same time. So and I had a buddy who actually was on the fire department out here that was just like, man, you should test. And so it just had like
Mm,
it's just God, and like I said, everything was God's timing. Because like I said, I had no idea. Growing up in South Central, bro, like we don't see fire departments, fire trucks.
facts.
Like we see cops, we see
Yeah,
choppers. Like we don't see like the fire department. We see some ambulances, but we don't even see like the fire
yeah.
department. So like I had no idea this was even like a profession. And so when
Mm,
I just saw his eye twinkle for like just that fire world. And so I was like, man, I think this is a way for me to be like his superhero, just besides being his dad. And so I
yeah.
just tried it, tested, and 6 years later, here I am, man. Like it was a
That's
blessing,
dope.
bro.
That's dope, man. So
Nah.
so oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, it's just crazy, bro. Like, just God's timing, like, literally from a doggone cartoon. Like,
That's wild, man. So
man,
so what would you say then? What's the biggest misconception when it comes to someone working I guess as a firefighter? Have you heard any, I guess, have you, even though we didn't grow up around it like that, but have you heard any stories where they thought it was this? You're like, no, that's not necessarily how it works over here.
man, firefighters, we don't cheat on our wives, man. We love our
You're like, that's
families,
the
man.
police.
That's police, man. That's police. Don't do that to us. But nah, man, like nothing really, man. It's just like we work hard. We like to have fun. We're very respectful, responsible. It's just really no misconceptions, man. It's just our time. It's just our
Mm,
time is valuable. We got a lot of
yeah,
we got a lot of leisure time. We got a lot of good time that we can spend with our family. It's valuable, so it just makes you appreciate it. I was on
mm,
shift yesterday, got off this morning, and we had a fire. So it was a rolling fire, ripping one. This garage was fully involved, and so we had to go in, search. I'm on the truck
yeah,
tower, so I had to go in,
mm,
search. It just lets me realize how much valuable life is. So just I
sure,
can't say, but it's fun. Like it's fun.
yeah. Well, so it sounds like, which is dope. It sounds like though, it gives you a more of an appreciation, just probably of life and just things in general. But also, I want to ask you, how do you mentally prepare, knowing that you're actually running towards danger, right? When
Right,
most people are running away. Like again, like you know, especially in Cali, bro, right? Like things go down, we not even waiting, we out, right? like
right.
we already out. So you're doing the opposite, right?
Running
Like
in.
imagine, like I'm only imagining, at least for me, like growing up. All right, hey, we know what time it is. Let's get out of here. But you like, oh no, there's danger. I'm going towards it, right? So, so how did you like mentally prepare for that?
Man, it was so different, man. I probably wasn't your normal cadet, cause like you say, we see that stuff. You see that fire, you like, damn, I'm out, bro. Like, call 911. Like, yo, I am 911. Like, but nah, it was just like I think just life situations prepared me, man. Like at least to be cool,
Yeah,
calm, collected over it. And again, it's just the bigger appreciation of knowing about my kids, man. Especially my oldest at the time it happened, but just my kids. So just understanding that at the time, I think that's what really
yeah.
made it the best. So
Mm,
it
that's
just
crazy.
mentally prepared me, and just my training, just understanding, I'm prepared for this, I'm trained for this, and this is God's calling. Like I say, for it to
Yeah.
happen the way this is, it's God's calling. So I can't question Him and not be mentally prepared for it.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true, bro. So I know, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but at least I've heard with firefighting, right, the hours can be long, unpredictable, and I'm thinking about sometimes maybe even the emotional stress, right, where whatever situation didn't go the way you wanted to, right, things like that. So how has your wife been able to support not only the career, which I'm sure at times like she's your wife, so she worried like, oh man, okay, I want to make sure he comes home, make sure he's good, right? But also supporting you with your basketball journey as well.
Keeping in contact, being transparent with communication, letting her know certain things. So, like, like we do text a lot when I'm on shift. So it's just that matter of like, so when we had that fire and we're texting before, and it's like, yo, either texted before, like, yo, we about to have a fire, or we have a fire, assumed fire, reported fire, I should say, and then just if I'm gone for 2-3 hours for handling this fire, taking it, just texting her when I get a chance, or after, just say, hey, we're still on this fire, cleaning up this and that. So that's letting her know that I'm okay and safe, at least while on an incident of a fire. But other than that, just on the job, just her understanding like this is, we're adults, and that's just part of being the adult part about it, is that her understanding this is a job and this is something I chose. So luckily I
True.
met her right before getting on this job, so she kind of understood what I signed up for. So it was like that conversation over dinner, like, this can happen. So, you got to
Yeah.
understand, like, this is what you're getting into if you wanted to deal with me and be with me and, for us to go somewhere further. So I think she accepted it from jump. I'm not going to say it's been easy on her, but she makes it look easy. But I think she do
Yeah.
stress and trip out.
Of course, man.
And
You know what I
so,
mean? You that guy, dog. She should. You that guy. She's that girl too, of course, for you, but you that guy too, dog.
that's facts. I'm that guy for her. Is
Exactly.
America that for her?
Exactly.
I'm not that guy. So
No, that's that's facts, man. So I want to the two. I'll close out with two questions. So one of them is because I hear this a lot, at times, just from kids and stuff. How do you like with your son that plays basketball, right? Um, how do you make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on him, right? And I'm asking more so general because again, I see it at times, right, where the child is so worried about messing up, and
Right.
you know they matter of fact they might not even necessarily want to do the sport like that, right? But their kid is, I mean, I'm sorry, their parents is pushing them towards it, right? And you, even though you know your son didn't see, I'm sure you might have seen highlights or whatever, but you know he knows, hey, my dad played at a high level, you
Right.
know what I mean, and he was hooping, so it's like that can be pressure in itself. Like, damn, I need to try to do what my dad did, right? So how do you navigate through that? And then through that, I'm hoping someone can hear that and be like, man, you know what? That's something I can use or take.
Just again, going back to the kid, right? Just read their emotions. Like read them.
Mm,
So don't be so prejudged or preconceived in what you want to do or into your regimen, or read your kid. Like you gotta understand him too. If he's not a morning person, why are you waking up at 5 to go run? You know, if he wired at 11 o'clock, maybe go run at 11 at night, right? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
it's like read your kid, like, cause your kid gonna tell you everything. And I think we get so caught up in, man, I got the blueprint. Man, I know what I'm doing. Man, I nah. Look at how you talk to your kid. If you talk to him after a game, he seem out of touch. Maybe he not ready. But when you
yeah,
get home and you guys eating dinner and he's starting to say, yo, you know, dad, yo, mom, I saw this, or yo, did you see that? Maybe that's that time. So again, it's do it on their time, not yours. You know, again, we
mm,
always think the world revolves around us as humans, but at the end of the day, as parents, we always say we selfless, selfless, selfless. But when are we going to be selfless for our kids in that regard too?
mm,
Because they own some of that time too. Because this they world too, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I just think read your kid, read their emotion. Like you could tell, you hear that big sigh when they don't want to talk. You know, read them. Like and
yeah,
don't use it against them. Don't be, oh, there you go with
mm,
that sigh. There you go. Don't want to hear me talking. And now you building a bigger bridge in between you guys.
yeah,
So again,
yeah.
it's reading their emotions about it.
Mm, I
Stand in
like
the
that.
present. Stand in the reality with them.
No, that's real. That's real, bro. So I guess to close out, I wanted to ask you, you know, when you look at your, or if you haven't right now, look at your younger self, you know, the hooper, the firefighter, right? What do you think, you know, your younger self, right, will be most proud of what you have accomplished today?
Just my maturity, bro. I was such a
Mm,
knucklehead, man. But I wasn't that knucklehead that like told the line and like I'm going to jail. You just knew I was just this type that
yeah,
type of
yeah,
dude. Like I don't even want to say screw up because I don't even want to speak bad on that behalf. Like some people are just misled, man. It's misguided. They don't know God. They don't know their life. You know, it's just some people are lost. So I don't even want to say
true.
use that word screw up, but man, it was just I told the line and I was just so immature, man. And it was just like, dude, you got to grow up, man. You got to acknowledge who
Yeah.
you are in the situations that you're putting yourself into. So I think my
Mm,
younger self would definitely be more impressed, and my work ethic now. My work ethic is crazy now as an adult. Like
mm,
it's completely different because I understand the success that comes out of it, which is why I am where I am now. So it's like the sacrifice, the success, and just not even the success, but the sacrifice that led to the success, but the sacrifice, the maturity, man, and the discipline. Like I said, that's what I think my younger self would be proud of. Like, because it'll be a whole different life, bro. Like,
yeah.
you'll be talking to me, and
No,
I have 18 cars behind me right now, bro. Like,
no, that's fact, man. That's fact. Um, real quick too, let the, because you do have things you doing, you know, with your basketball as well. And for those that's in Colorado, they listen to this or nearby or whatever. Do you have any like social media, anything, man, they can follow you, see what you got going on? I know, I think you had stuff for, you know, Thanksgiving and stuff like that as well. But just when you're having any type of, you know, activities or camps or whatever, like where can they follow you at, bro? I'm gonna also put it in there as well, y'all. I'm gonna put it in the on YouTube and podcast. But for for those that's listening or watching? Where can they find you at?
I do have social media. That's just my first and last name on Facebook, but I kind of keep that like, that's family and close friends and stuff like that. But I do have an Instagram. My handle is at Dog Mentality Sports Peace Camp that I'm helping host out here in Aurora, Colorado. So we getting that cracking. Like I say, to start off this competition, we'll be having one in winter. And as 2026, I want to say this 2025, right? Like, brother be forgetting real quick. But we're going to start
Yeah.
kicking these up in 26. And like I say, just follow me at Dog Mentality Sports. And right now, all it is just Instagram. Like I said, I'm not really heavy on social media, but I'm trying to get back
Yeah.
into for my business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you guys can check
That's
me out
dope.
and follow me out on there.
Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. Anyone that's nearby where he's at, man, definitely tap in with him. He knows the game for sure, and the fact that he's pouring into all these other kids I see you doing, man, is dope, bro. Because I know you very knowledgeable about the game, and you care, man. You care. You know what I mean? So it's just dope that what you're doing, man. So I
Sometimes
always
too
like to give.
much.
I'm sure. Hey, trust me, I'm guilty of that too. But I always like to give my guests a flower. So one, I appreciate you, dealing with the cold. You know what I mean, and all that just to be on. So one, I appreciate you, man, and just what you doing, bro. Just just hearing, because we've had many conversations. So just in the past, so just hearing you now, man, and hearing the growth, seeing the growth, and just seeing your beautiful family grow, man, and you just constantly being the standard, and the fact that you're like, hey, you know what, you was inspired to be a firefighter because of your son, and you're doing it. Not only you doing it, but you're excelling at it, and so man, I just wanted to salute you, bro, and what all you're doing it's amazing, bro. So shout out to you,
Thank you,
man, and
brother.
your family. I'm praying blessings over all of y'all.
Thank you, man. I definitely want to give you your flowers too, man. If you don't hear them, if you don't receive them, if you don't get them, man, what you're doing is a beautiful thing. Uniting us fathers, man, coming to talk to us, making us feel vulnerable to you, man. Only you can make us talk like this, man. So, and for the folks that don't know who S. Lowry is, man, he the type of dude that'll give you the shirt off his back, sweatshirt off his back. If he got $10, he'll give you seven if you leave him three. You know what I'm saying? So, it is the type of brother, man, that go to war for you, go to bat. So, man, definitely appreciate what you're doing. Definitely watching what you're doing. So, man, keep doing it, man. We love you out here, brother.
Man, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate, blessings again to you, family, man. And like always, guys, right? Like always, you don't have to be perfect, but you always have to be present. See you guys on the next one.